For someone to be able to produce the kind of content that I produce, to behave the way that I behave, to speak freely as I do, to not sugarcoat, to authentically be myself, and you all just wish you could have what I have. You all beg and pray and plead with your podcasters to teach you how to be inauthentic and how to get away with all sorts of criminal acts so that you can get paid. That's really all that this podcasting thing is about. So I find it humorous when you call me, well, I called myself crazy, a crazy ass in the last one. However, I do recall this time I was working at this resort place, and this black girl who's big ogre says, "Hey, crazy girl," all implicated because I knew she was watching my content, and she was trying to gaslight me in front of the entire staff, and she was trying to be her black BLM participant in front of other BLM participants, all a DEI organized crime group. However, when I talked to her, she didn't really have a whole lot to say. She had no personality. She had no education. She had no dreams or goals. She just wanted to get paid. She wanted to get paid as much money as possible and to do as little work as possible while abusing the hell out of everybody in the process, while expecting everyone to be nice to her, which is the BLM and the DEI programming. Meanwhile, they all think she specifically thought that she was better than because of her skin color, which that she then would refer to others as racists. And then she would think that she was better than because of her color of her skin, and because the Democrat Party had organized a BLM rally at the current workplace by a guy named Willie. His name was Willie, who barely showed up to work. And if he did show up to work, he was late, and then he was doused in cologne, and then his drinks were terrible. And he would not show up sometimes, and they never let him go because of the way his skin color looked. The concern and the problem is your mental status. You're the ones that are the crazy ones. You're the ones that have no intelligence. That's the crazy part of all of it. This list here that I go through and I call your names out, if you are actual professionals, as a dental hygienist coming to you, and your name is Jarno Lasala or Michael Ventura or Clay Shannon or Broman or Hannah Bronfman or Danny Meyer or Kim Garcia or Ryan Serhant, Ray Hassan Minhay, Roy Jones Jr., T-Pain, Tim Ferriss, Pedro Earp, Wendy Sachs, Bob Safian, Richard, I don't even know, C.Y., Wakeman, Matthew McConaughey, Ryan Holiday, Linda Cohen, Dustin Lynch, Paris Hilton, Tony Conrad, Russ, Tim Ballou. You're a professional, and in a professional setting, you don't bring in Hollywood as competition in the form of educated, and this is the craziest part of all. When you educate an audience, you don't compete the way Beth Comstock competes with Joel Prentice with audiences' emotional state or intelligence. You don't play with that like you would in LA or New York City when you're working a business deal for a movie role. However, Paris Hilton does that with Phoenix and London. Ali Webb does that with Scott Belsky. Alec Hansel does it with the Grill Dads. Marie Forleo does it with Baby Ariel. And they're all running around talking out their buttholes with no personal experience while destroying the economy like Nicole Lapin, so that she can build a brand off of her weird alien face, while Chloe Flowers and Mona Van flirt with each other in front of your faces while they eat pizza, and Mona Van's brand is Eat Clean. So what these people are doing is criminal. And yeah, you know how they cover it all up? They do it by showing you how much money they have, that their mommies and daddies gave them. Because Chloe Flowers is not an American. She's from another country. And her mother and father are wealthy Koreans. She went to a private school and then took piano lessons and was actually forced to learn the piano. And her piano playing is shitty. and she supposedly won a Grammy, but her mommy and daddy paid for it. And that's what the elitists out of New York City and LA, that's how they participate in the game of business. So we don't actually live in a free country because foreigners have come into this country, like Monavand, to pay their way to the top by getting lucky because they were born with a silver spoon up their rear end. And no one was willing to call them out on the corruption. So everybody that I know in the entire world doesn't like Michael Ventura or Charlie Jeter or Chris Brickley or Jesse Garay or Alan Dignan or The Whale Show, which is definitely corrupt, or Logic or Simon Sinek or Bob Wright or Seth Godin or Charlie D'Amelio and family. However, the industry that Nemavand participates in likes the Chicken Chow, Alan Chicken Chow, and Chris Dixon and Rich BFF, and they all made business brand deals with each other to violate our civil rights, and then created a bully system to distort reality for everybody and use brainwashing tactics collectively, while Hannah Bronfman gets her nails done on television and then brags about her New York City elite lifestyle, and then has the audacity to tell us how we're supposed to feel enlightened by her meditation and yoga practice and her plastic surgery. So she expects us to be nice to her while she closes the door off for anyone else to have any form of potential of success. They all come together in some weird Ponzi scheme of seduction, where they all violate our civil rights on a daily basis with their guests on their show. They have no respect for anyone. You teach your children no respect, and that's for you, little pathetic girl in the video that we produced yesterday. They're now teaching women and little girls like that how to behave so they can advance it into a more sadistic way of existing. And then everyone just runs around and looking at the bright side of positivity so that they never actually have to feel what it means to have failure in life. And then they run around getting paid for it. And then they think they're winning, while you then say, money isn't everything, but Rich BFF says that it is. Meanwhile, she practiced illegal day trading at her last job, and then got a better job, and then stole from those jobs, and then wrote a book because she's a illusionist and a low-class citizen, and it's all about DEI, but nobody wants to look at her except for low lifes like her, like people in the network. So all the talent is sitting out there in the queue somewhere. These people have dreams and goals. Not the girl that I used to work with who told me I was crazy. No, these are the people that actually kind of keep it quiet, and they have secret things in their drawers at home that they never pull out because they don't want it to be stolen by Sally Lee or Cruella. And this is the reality of what all these people are up to, while they then smile to your face and pretend to be friendly so that you will pay them. And then they call that business. Well, nobody says anything except for they were part of the South by Southwest crew, which was an inequality Democrat group by Obama to abuse the hell out of American citizens, while they all praised each other and did brand deals and business deals so that they could be the lead on the pages of the news, while they then used that as weapons against us. And none of you supported human behavior, but you sure talked about it. So all these things that are going on with legacy media has absolutely nothing to do with the people that go to work every day. Has everything to do with Charlemagne and his experience with Chloe Flowers and Mel Robbins. So all this inferior complex that a person with the skin color black feels doesn't come from a small town in some city. It comes from Charlemagne, and it comes from Bethany Frankel, and it comes from Frank Blake, and it comes from Noor Stars, and it comes from Mona Van and Nicole Lapin and Chloe Flowers. It all comes from Jessica Alba and Drew Barrymore. It comes from those people who are the ones talking about it. Understand how agenda works. And you're just little puppets in their little game. While they do nothing for you except for abuse the hell out of you, but it just occurs as if you're feeling like they're your friends. That's not any friend I want in my life, Gronk.